Hearty welcome to part 4 in our series about the 5 different phases to grow spiritually. And we have seen in the second phase, the aim is that we do everything only for Jesus. Here we become free, because before of that we are always only disappointed because we have the wrong motivation. We do something to get attention, we do something to get a good reward or to get money, and when we don't get what we want, we feel very bad, we are disappointed. And with this motivation, we will always only be disappointed. We must come to that point that we do what we do only for Jesus Christ, not to get something, not to reach as much as possible people, not to grow into a bigger Christian career. No, our focus must go back to the cross. Only there we become more and more free and spiritual. When we realize we do what we want, we do what we do because we do it for Jesus Christ. We do it because He deserves it. Because we are thankful. Because it's a privilege. He has saved us. It's a privilege to serve Him. So in the phase number 3, we have still our focus on our ministry. That's because we call this phase service and ministry. We try to become more productive. We are very active. We are busy. We study programs. We are partakers of programs. We copy from other people's. We learn from other people's. We copy even models from different countries. But we think in that time the aim is to become better in our ministry. The ministry is important, and many people will have a blessing out of that, I hope. But this is not the aim, to become more and more productive and better in our ministry. The aim is still a spiritual. God is working in us, and many people are not aware of that. They are doing something for God. They do what they do for Christ. Others are not in the second phase coming to the point and they do it for themselves. They are active. But you must come to the point that we do what we do for Jesus Christ, and we must come to the point that we realize Christ wants to live in us. Christ in us. That's what Paul is preaching. Study, for example, Galatians chapter 2, verse 19 and 20. Paul says, I am crucified with Christ. I'm alive, but it's not me, it's Jesus Christ who lives in me. In Romans chapter 6, he talks more in detail about this topic, that we must understand Jesus died for our sin, but that's not all. We are crucified with Christ to become dead for sin. And Jesus Christ lives in us that we may live for God. So we must come deeper in that. And here is a big problem. Many people, they are so active, they are so busy, they have no time to grow deeper into the cross. But in Jesus Christ on the cross, we have all the treasures of spirituality. And many people are blind for that. It's very sad for me to say this, but the most people in the Christian scene, they are still in phase number 1. They are only active, going to church, following traditions, belonging to an organization, but they never repented. Many people are in the second phase. They do ministry for God, but they don't realize that's always their only ego. They do what they do to get more attention. It's fleshly. Only few people come to the end of the second phase that they do what they do for Jesus Christ. And this will change your whole life in ministry. You will have a totally different motivation and perspective on all you do. Before of that, I wanted to preach in front of many people, to reach many people. But from that moment, I realized when I wash the dishes, when I clean my room, I do it for the Lord. Life is changing totally. My daily life becomes a church ministry. That's where we are growing. This is the direction. And now in phase number 3, Christ wants to become real in us. So take yourself time for Romans 6 and ask yourself, do you know what Paul is talking about? Because he always says there, we know, knowing that, we know this. This is what we must know. So take your focus on Jesus Christ again. The question is, are you living in that reality that Jesus Christ is your life? Galatians 2, chapter 19 and 20. I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith. So this is the aim of this third phase. So welcome to the next day, to the next topic. We will talk about phase number 4, a very important phase.